Okay, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Hannah, and I'll be your moderator today for this webinar. So today's webinar topic is how to increase sales with messenger marketing. I'm assuming a lot of you might have not heard of messenger marketing before, so that's exactly what we'll be covering off today and diving deep into what messenger marketing can do for your business. I'm very excited to have with us today Josh, who is our host.
Thanks for having
Hello,
me.
Josh. Josh is the co-founder of EasyBots and CEO of EasyBots. He has a background in software development and marketing and is an expert when it comes to messenger marketing. So he's the perfect person to talk to you today about the topic. He's a firm believer that personalization is the key and has a lot of value to better performing messages after observing this trend across various industries. So before we get started with today's webinar, just some housekeeping rules. If you have any issues hearing me right now, you might need to adjust your audio settings on the bottom left corner. If you'd like to ask a question at any point, you can do so. There's 3 different ways that you can ask a question. The first one being sending of a question via chat. You can also raise your hand if there's a pressing question you would like to ask during the webinar. Otherwise, leave a question in the Q&A section and we will get to your question after the main part of the webinar. If you have missed something, don't worry as well. We're recording this whole session and we will have it up on our webinar library, and you'll also be sent a recording via email as well. So you can go back and re-watch. Right, so without further ado, I'm going to pass over to Josh.
Thank you very much. And I just wanted to quickly ask as well, Hannah, will we be continuing to share your screen going through, or you want me to share my screen to run through the presentation?
Yes, I'll stop sharing and you can start.
Okay, cool. Now, looking forward to, taking you guys through how all things messenger marketing works. And also, as well as hearing about how, I'm just going to check which screen. Always there with Zoom, when you share the screens, you get lost, don't you? Are you able to see the screen there saying today's intentions? That we'll just go back to, oh yes, you can see it, great. We played it safe and did a bit of a refresh, and we'll try that again. Okay, spot on. So yeah, looking forward to taking you guys through exactly what is messenger marketing. It's something that is massive overseas, especially the United States, understandably with Facebook, of course, being from there. But in New Zealand, although the technology has been around a long time and matured and grown, and they've learned from all this usage, in New Zealand, it's still brand new, which presents a fantastic opportunity in that this technology has matured, it's been grown and learnt, but you can immediately plug in and get world-class quality straight away. And especially with New Zealand, and we'll go through some stats, but pretty much everybody's on Facebook Messenger. New Zealand's one of the world's biggest adopters of Facebook Messenger. So yeah, there's a lot we'll go through. So for intentions today, main things is just sharing what it is and sharing the real secret, most powerful things about it as well, so you can ensure you get the most value out of using it. Learn and teach you guys how you can build your own subscriber base in Messenger, how you can achieve near 100% open rates, genuinely, like we've achieved that, and explain the brand new Instagram features. A lot of you may have seen that Messenger is now the inbox for Instagram, which means there's a whole lot of stuff, really exciting stuff that we can do in that regard as well. And lastly, let's have a discussion about how you guys can use it. And that's something I'd really encourage throughout today's webinar, is even if you just share what your business does, if you just share around ideas that you have throughout today's webinar to learn a bit more context, so I can talk to how you could use it in your business and discuss the ideas that you have and see where that could lead to. And that's where you'll get the most value from it as well. So running through the very first thing is just sharing that context of where is Facebook at? Where is Messenger at? And what is the opportunity size there? So as of this year, there's now 1.3 billion Facebook Messenger users, but specifically for New Zealand, there was 3.5 million, and that was in 2020. We would expect that number to have gone up with, I guess, the number of people that have been coming back to New Zealand. But ultimately, if you want to communicate with your audience, they're likely on Messenger. Depends on your target audience, but most people are all on there. Also with Instagram, which we'll be talking about today as well, 1 billion recorded global users this year. But I would say more than anything, the engagement within Instagram itself versus Facebook is a lot higher. So Instagram is, I wouldn't call it a dark horse, but there's a lot more engagement you can convert into sales and revenue through messenger marketing. So, and also the other area is a traditional use of Facebook Messenger. It's usually for a business, it's quite time consuming. When you're getting a lot of messages, when you're getting a lot of messages, it's really time consuming to respond to everybody. It's also potentially quite expensive with the traditional approach, which has only been known until recently of we just need to hire more people to reply to that, or even going to the point where you turn it off, where you actually don't allow your clients or your users to be able to message your Facebook page. A delayed response, because it's all completely against when are you able to actually respond. It's not 24/7. People are doing things. And high likelihood of human error. So that's the usual traditional approach of responding to messenger marketing. It has those challenges because that's just the nature of it. So what is messenger marketing exactly, and how will it be fixing those problems is what we'll cover. So messenger marketing is using Facebook and Instagram Messenger automation to convert your social media engagement into revenue, to free up your time and provide the best customer experience on social media. And those, one of the key things that I really wanted to emphasize, it can convert your social media engagement into revenue. So we're increasing revenue and reducing cost as it frees up your time and provides the best customer experience. Very, very, very powerful blend. So let's go into what is unique about it. And this screenshot of an actual messenger chatbot, an EasyBot, as we call them, and how that looks. What is that experience like? So on the left here, we have our client Joe Bros Burgers. And in here, you'll see this isn't like your usual messenger experience where you're talking to a business. It's got a whole gallery of images, what we call a carousel, where it's like a main menu. I can swipe across and choose from a variety of options that resonate with me that I want to look at right now. And of course, you don't have to wait for somebody to respond. It's available 24/7. So here I will come in to message this business. If I want to learn about their current food menu, then I just click this button and then it's going to tell them all about the menu. Within this, you can also buy burger sauce with what they sell. And you're able to complete your purchase within Facebook Messenger without leaving at any point. So it's an incredibly rich user experience with a lot of capability. So that's what it looks like as part of it. But what's actually unique about it, and I'm going to go through these quickly, and we'll expand on them with their own slides shortly. Firstly is subscribers in Messenger. This is a big thing a lot of people aren't aware of, including businesses and users. Every person who messages your business's Facebook page, they become a subscriber in Facebook Messenger. So everybody in the last 365 days that has messaged all of your own businesses on Facebook, they are currently subscribers you can message right now. Facebook doesn't publicly push that out, but now you guys know, and you guys can look to use that, which is what we'll talk through. The benefit of using your subscribers in Messenger is you can get near 100% open rates. We've got one case study we'll talk through shortly where, and in fact, we'll leave that one. Another one, we did a 98.9% average open rate, and that was the average across 15 messages over 3 weeks. And the average click-through rate for that campaign was 77.2%. So you imagine those big email databases that you've grown and you got a lot of users on there. Imagine you were getting those numbers to that database, what that could mean for your business. Plus, it's a chatbot that automates responding to them as well. So it's going to free up your time as opposed to getting bombarded with emails to reply to. We've had click-through rates as high as 87.2%. The click-through rate heavily depends on what the content is and if it resonates with the audience, but the possibility is massive. This doesn't just have to be on your Facebook page. It can be on your website as the website chatbot, meaning every person who uses your website chatbot, they become a subscriber in Messenger as well. And it's the chatbot on your Instagram page, and it's the chatbot on your Facebook page. So it's one place to manage everything. Another fun fact, converting comments on Instagram and Facebook posts and ads. This is where we convert the social media engagement into revenue. So you imagine you do a competition, maybe you get 100 comments, maybe you get 5,000 comments. We've seen that many times. We're able to message every single person who commented on that post, thanking them for commenting on the post potentially, and then say, if you want to learn more about our business or more about a giveaway we have coming up next week, just click here and we'll tell you all about it. As soon as they click that button, they become a subscriber. So those 5,000 comments or 200 comments, whatever that might be, they all become subscribers in Messenger, making it really easy for them to shop your store, to maybe make a lead inquiry, to learn about your services, learn more about what you're doing in the community, whatever that is. It's not just commenting on a Facebook post now. It's they comment on the post and now they understand your business better and might buy something. So we're bridging that gap. Automate rewarding Instagram story tags. This is the Instagram capability that's just come out. Every person who tags your business in their Instagram story, we can automatically thank them for that and give them something as a thank you as well, and get them to become a subscriber to then continue communicating with and giving benefits to. So we've been doing that with the Silver Ferns very recently, with them engaging with the fans that are not in the stadium, especially with COVID conditions, not being able to have fans at the stadium. Automated follow-ups, because they're a subscriber and because it's a chatbot, if they haven't converted into a sale or they didn't complete a journey, maybe a survey, we can automatically follow up with them. Maybe that's 10 minutes later, maybe that's 2 hours later, and just say, hey, just want to check, did you find what you're looking for? Or do you want to continue answering the questions now or later? Do you want us to remind you? So we can continue those conversations, when otherwise, if you look at a website lead form or other forms, then you can't continue that messaging because you can't reach them anymore. And lastly is the customer insights, or the insights on the customer interactions. Every single button that's clicked, you're able to get reporting on. So you know exactly who clicked on what button and how many times each button was clicked. And that's where we can pick up in terms of the click-through rates, in terms of the conversion rates, and in terms of where they drop off on a client journey as well. So that is a very quick run through of everything that's just unique about messenger marketing that you may not have known about. What we'll do now is we'll go through and actually let you experience those chatbots yourselves. So I'd like to encourage you, if you have usually with Android or iPhone with the latest phones, you have a native QR code scanner in your camera. So if you just point at either one of those that you would like to have a look at, I'm going to do that now as well so I can show you on my screen. And this is an example of an easy way where you don't have to rely on people to message your Facebook page. You can drive that engagement. So QR codes and people commenting on posts and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to scan Joe Bros. And mobile is definitely the most ideal experience, but we can show it on desktop as well with Messenger there, of course. So I'll just share my screen. Okay. So here you'll see this is the desktop experience. As I said, Messenger is not optimized for desktop. It's definitely optimized for on your phone, and also Messenger in its own window. But within here, you'll see, welcome back, Joshua. I've used this before, so they don't have to take me through the whole welcome journey. And this is that personalization Hannah touched on. So here I can become a Joe Bro. I can look at events and catering and look at upcoming events, or I can get a quote for an event I'm going to have. I can look at the menu, learn about their food, look at the online store, get to know them. So all of this is available to me without having to wait for somebody to respond. And it's a rich user experience as well. So I can just go through and choose what I want. So if I go here, if we go, I want to have a look at their current menu. I'll just click on that button. Goes right. Let's teach you about our menu below. Also, as you guys are going through it, if you have any questions, just put that in the chat and we'll be able to have a talk about that now if you'd like. But here, again, image is optimized for mobile phone, but here you're able to see the whole menu. You can buy the burger sauce, book an event, order online. So with these guys, we're doing click and collect, especially now with moving to level 3, they're based in Auckland. So you can just, yeah, as you see, you can go through and experience whatever you want to learn about that business. I'll just take a moment to pause there, Hannah, just see if we have any questions that have come through. We've covered a lot of detail quite quickly.
Yep, so we have a couple questions here. One of them is, if a user clicks on our current menu, where does the link take them? Is that to the website or somewhere else?
Yeah, so as we took it through there, in that case, it shows them the image of the menu. But the other option that we can do with any button, we can send them anywhere that you need them to go to. So we could send them to a YouTube video. We could send them to a Dropbox folder or a Google Drive folder. We could send them to your website, or we continue the conversation in Messenger. So that's where whatever is best for the client journey and best for your business, then we can do that. Good question. Very good question.
And then we have another question. How is this chatbot different from other tools like, for example, Zoho?
Zoho, I'll say that's one I'm not massively familiar with. However, the usual theme with how this is different to other chatbots is Messenger, it's on their social media for one. So it can be the chatbot on the website. It's the chatbot for your social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook as well. The other thing is, because it's Messenger, they become subscribers. So it's the only chatbot really where they become subscribers to it. And so let's look at as a website, because I believe most chatbots, usually the website chatbot, they're likely like Zoho. And if you can comment on that, that would be great. And with that, if you message a standard chatbot and you need a response from somebody and you don't get a response within, say, 1 minute, and you leave the website, they have no way of contacting you again unless you ask somebody for their email address or their phone number, which is quite a direct means of, we're going to be contacting you. And that's how we've behaviorally become accustomed to, right, if somebody's asking for a business, asking for my email or my phone number, they're going to be going and promoting to me. In this instance, you message this Messenger chatbot, they become a subscriber. Then if they leave after a minute, if you reply 22 hours later, they get a Messenger notification saying that your business has responded. And now you can continue that conversation. So that's one of the big things. Also is the galleries and the use of imagery is a big point of difference to many other chatbots as well.
Yeah. I just looked up that as well, Zoho, because I wasn't familiar with it. But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong to Vince who asked the question, but to me at first glance, it seems like that's a software to build a website chatbot with. So it looks like it's not integrated with social media and Messenger. So that's where the difference lies, just as you just said as well, but just to clarify.
Yeah, no, thanks for that, Hannah. Great. Don't think there's other questions there, so we'll keep moving along. This slide that you see here, this is just a direct comparison, a comparison of what a usual Messenger experience is versus what it can be and what's now possible. So usually when you message a business, you might have some quick reply options to choose from, such as where can I view your menu in this instance? And it will just usually come back, thanks for messaging us, we try to be as responsive as possible, we'll come back to you soon. Now, we live in a world where you expect to get the information that you want when you want it on the platform that you want it on. And to be fair, that's understandable. That's a fair expectation. And so that doesn't necessarily serve the client. It's not the best user experience. And they're not becoming subscribers that you can really use quite valuably. Alternatively, as we've gone through, it can be that other experience that we develop and that you can develop for yourself as well. Building your subscriber list, as I said, anybody who's messaged your business within the last 12 months, they become a subscriber in your chatbot. Simple as that. And so you already have a number of subscribers that you probably weren't aware of that you're able to engage with. Expanding on that further, there's 11 different ways where you can build your subscriber base. And this comes back to, you're not reliant on businesses, on users just messaging your Facebook page, because maybe you don't get many messages, they get a lot of comments, or you have a lot of QR code engagements. So just talking through these, anybody who comments on a Facebook post or an ad, so converting the comments on ads that otherwise wouldn't convert, you can message them automatically and convert that engagement. Same with Instagram posts. Anybody who tags you in their Instagram story, a URL, anywhere you can send a URL, if they click on that URL, they're sent through to Messenger and they can become a subscriber as well. And that opens up sending just a link through to your email database and get them to engage there. Get your email database, we've done this for a lot of clients, is to get your email database over into Facebook Messenger. So you can leverage the open rates, give them more information whenever they want, and they just see that experience. Facebook ads, so you can run send to Messenger Facebook ads. So when they click on the ad, it takes them through to Messenger and they can shop your store there and become a subscriber at the same time. QR codes, as we experienced, referral and sharing campaigns, those are really, really powerful. I'll talk a bit more about that soon. Anybody who messages your Instagram page directly or your Facebook page, when we spoke about the website chatbot, this is an example of how the website chatbot can look on your page, where it's the messenger icon. You can change the colors of that quite easily. And then in this case, we've had a pop-up that says, if you'd like to chat with us or experience a chatbot, just click here. They click on that, takes them through it, really simple. And you can change how that looks in a number of ways. While we're on this, you'll see Chat with EasyBots typically replies instantly. That massively increases how many messages that you actually get. And that's what your Facebook page will say as well. Most of the time it says typically replies within a few hours, or typically replies within 30 minutes. Your page will now say instantly. And the last one is website actions. That can be buttons on the website, that could be a pop-up, that could be a scrolling ticker along the top, variety of options there. The near 100% open rates, as I've alluded to, New Zealand's a massive adopter of Facebook Messenger. It's fantastic. So with that, as you build up these subscribers, you're able to send them messages with promotions. Maybe that's messages with whatever experience they've designed that they want. So for instance, in terms of maybe clothing, I perhaps only want to hear about when there's a promotion on jeans and nothing else. So we would create a tailored experience to that person where when we have a promotion on jeans, we'll tell them. But if it's a promotion on socks or beanies and things like that, we won't tell them. So you can build a personalized experience, and that keeps those open rates really, really high and really high click-through rates as well. As an example of what you might message to your audience and what it can do, we've listed out some options here. So you might look to drive booking of appointments, people requesting a quote. Maybe it's registration for a webinar, maybe booking a call, submission inquiries, or they want to complete a purchase within Messenger. There really is no limitation on what that can go to. We covered before as well with the great question around sending it to maybe Dropbox, to YouTube, sending them through to your website, sending them, we can also send them directly a document. We can send videos directly to them, audio clips. So we can create really, really rich experiences, and you can create rich experiences with messenger marketing in that regard as well. This is just a video that actually shows you what is a customer journey like if you comment on a post, and how does it message you? What does that look like? So you'll see here, this is AV Club, one of our longest standing clients. Hannah has commented just saying AV, which is the key word. And this is to provide guest list get you on the guest list for that weekend. Message comes up on the top. Hey Hannah, to see if we have spots on Friday's guest list, please click here. You click on that, then Hannah's on the guest list. And so this, just expanding on it in some more detail, I'll just pause it quickly. Once that takes place, that's where some complexities in the background take place, where we add Hannah's full name to a guest list on Google Sheet. So she's now on that list, but we also check to see if we hadn't gone over the limit for the guest list. So say you could only have 100 people. Each time somebody's added, we're building up that number to keep track of. So after the first 100 people have gone on the guest list, maybe then we say, sorry, the guest list is full. However, here's 50% off door entry. So that's just an example of some of the stuff that happens in the background. On the user experience, it's really smooth and clean experience, but there can be a lot that you do in the background to work with your business processes. We then have the inviting your friends. This is the referral capability. So you'll see this comes up. Oh, I'll just come back there. I was too slow pausing it. I'll just jump through to that again. So here I go, right, I want to invite my friends to this guest list or to this event, or I want to invite them to today's webinar as well. So here, super easy, click the button to the right of the image. So you click this button here and choose who you'd like to invite. So perhaps Hannah clicks on that, sends it through to me. I then click, I read saying, Hannah is inviting you to our guest list. We have a limited guest list for this weekend. Click below to try to get a spot. I click on that button. Now I'm a subscriber to the AV Club chatbot as well. And then I'm added to the guest list. So this is the converting of comments. It's great for competitions where you can drive all this engagement. And then from that point, they all become subscribers as well. I'll just take a moment to stop there as well. See if there's any other questions, Hannah. I think I see.
Yep, we have another question. So Janice asks, is it Messenger on Facebook or EasyBots?
Yes, so this is all within Messenger. So if you look at this example with AV Club, it's connected to their Facebook page. So that's one thing to distinguish. It will be your Facebook page messaging them. It's not EasyBots, not by any means. And in terms of the platform, it's on Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger.
Cool. And then we have another question. Where do you see the landscape of messenger bots in the years to come as companies adopt more automation and innovation, and will non-adopters be left behind?
I wouldn't say non-adopters will be left behind per se, and really, really good question. And I'm actually just going to read that so I can better look to it. I see this landscape of messenger bots. One thing Facebook's very aware of is email as a platform. Originally, it was getting near 100% open rates. It was getting high click-through rates. But as that got more and more and more used, now, I mean, I think we all know what our email inboxes are like. We get a lot of content and there's kind of real no policing of that, of frequency, etc. That's where Facebook has a number of rules and regulations to comply with. And that means Facebook's really protecting how many messages can you send per month, and also allowing for certain functionality and allowing people to unsubscribe really easily. So Facebook is one, protecting that landscape where it won't go down the path of email, and it will actually continue with that personalization of people only get messages if they want that information. So I see that just expanding onto more and more platforms, if anything, and becoming what's more omni-channel, such as the introduction of Instagram, of Facebook Messenger, and also WhatsApp, expanding to WhatsApp and having them all work together. Really good question. Non-adopters in terms of being left behind, some businesses this won't be a fit for right now because they're not getting that frequency. Over time, it will become very clear in that the customer experience expectation, that will change. And so the impact on your clients and how your business stands out, if every business has this and then your inbox just says, hey, we'll come back to you as soon as possible, it can leave a sour feeling for the audience. Good question.
And then as a follow-up question also from Janice, so when somebody who's clicking on the ad or is leaving a comment, do they automatically become a subscriber, or is it like YouTube where the audience is encouraged to subscribe?
Yeah, very good question, Janice. So in this AV Club example, and I'll go back to the beginning. So here, showing an example of, right, I comment and engage, and if we look at the top of the screen, up comes this message from AV Club directly. So by commenting, you are then prompted with a message saying, hey, Hannah, to see if we have spots on the guest list, click here. So I go, okay, let's check out that message. And then this button here, Friday guest list, as soon as I click that, I've now messaged the page. At that exact moment, you become a subscriber to that business's messenger subscriber base. And this is where best practice comes in very carefully of, is this person now expecting to receive messages each week? Probably not. So we need to send them another message saying, do you want to receive the guest list for next week? To set that expectation, see if they actually want that message. Good question.
And then we have another question. What other features are possible in time to come?
What are we allowed to share? That's probably more the question. I would say the really big ones is, I think they're expanding Instagram more and more with converting Instagram engagement. And perhaps that's where if people react to your business's Instagram story with a certain reaction, then that can trigger certain conversations within the chatbot, kind of like if they say a keyword. The other is expanding on Facebook stories, and they'll be driving that same functionality. Tag us in your Facebook story. On a wider scale, it's far more omni-channel. That is where everything's going. And so that's using WhatsApp, using Instagram, using Facebook, and then using SMS as well, integrating with all these platforms to work together. That's where it's more likely going to.
Great. And then we have a question in regards to sharing options. Does that mean sharing just through Facebook, or also texts and emails and other options?
Yeah, so you will be able to share messenger to messenger. So say me sending it to yourself, Hannah. You can also share it to your Facebook newsfeed. You can also have a URL that maybe you text to your friends. So it's all available and it's all an option there, but it's about how you build it that enables that capability to happen. Yeah.
Great. And then we have a question from Kay, who asks, how can people unsubscribe?
Unsubscribe. Yes, good question, Kay. So the unsubscribe, you always want to make that really easy for people, because you don't want people locked in that you're just messaging. They're not going to convert anyway. So with that, we usually go every 3 messages we send out, we ask people if they want to unsubscribe, and they just have to click a button, and then we then ask them, why do you want to unsubscribe? And from that point, we get some data, but we've unsubscribed them at that point. So it's about the implementation of how you're using messenger marketing to make it easy for them.
Cool. Another question from Vince. Are there currently any regulations in New Zealand about automatically opting people into subscription lists? For example, Neon NZ requires potential customers to opt out of receiving email promos.
It's the sad face for me there, Vince. I feel you on that one. So in terms of New Zealand regulations, I would say that it doesn't impact this necessarily, because, and I would also, I don't think it impacts it. However, I highly recommend that it's the best customer experience to tell them, do you want to opt in? Like, you can do it the other way, but it's not best to. And so that's where, and I'll get to this, and I'm also keeping an eye on time. We've got to keep jumping through a few more things, but there's what's called a one-time notification, where you basically say, right, we'd love to send you next week's guest list in this instance. Click here if you want it. By them clicking that, they're saying, yep, send that message to me. So the application of that kind of technology, it's a better user experience, and also it's a safety precaution in case something was to come up. Now I'm just going to keep going through some other slides, and we've gone pretty quick. So with that, I'm going to jump through them pretty quickly. In terms of rich and easy user experience, as you've seen and maybe experienced yourself with the QR code and seen, it's very easy with just galleries going through, you're clicking buttons. It's just quite straightforward. So it makes it easy for your users. Capturing user information, I'm going to skip this one. I'll talk to it very quickly, but won't play the video. Where you ask people any question you want, whether that is what is your favorite color of shirt, whether that is how many times do you go to a restaurant each week, or what time do you usually go to your restaurant? Is it usually for lunch or is it for dinner? You can ask them any question you want. It captures all that information, and you're then able to use that information for future targeting purposes. And further to that as well is gathering SMS, gathering phone numbers, gathering emails, so you can then engage with people through that going forward. So any questions you ask them, you're able to gather that information to then use. There's also the possibility of going a little bit complex. If you learn, say, I like black button-up t-shirts, you can then identify me as that segment. You then create that as a custom audience within your Facebook Ads Manager and target everybody that Facebook says looks like me, target them with black button-up shirts because odds are they like it as well. So that's where you can increase your return on ad spend by having it more specifically targeted by segments from your own learning of asking people questions to increase your return on ad spend. As a quick cover of AV Club and the results we got for them. So they've currently got over 8,500 subscribers that we've been sending messages out to them every week since, I would say, I think it was November 2019. The audience loves it. They absolutely, I mean, they get free entry and they've looked after. Over that period, we've responded to now over 40,000 messages, and we've converted probably over 5,000 comments now and converted that into conversions. And their average open rate is 93.44%. And that's over that whole period. So very powerful, especially when you are making sure your audience wants that information. What about Instagram? We're going to cover this one real quick. I've kind of alluded to some of that functionality earlier. So what makes Instagram Messenger unique? Converting the comments on your posts, instant replies to anybody who mentions you in their story. If somebody mentions you in their Instagram story, that's a great micro-influencing moment. And then you can run competitions where you're telling people, hey, tag us in your story and you go in the draw for this competition, or you get access to our secret food menu and encourage other people to do it as well. Now, say if that was, I see all my friends, they're all tagging, say that was Burger Fuel, just top of mind, because I'm going to get Burger Fuel today. Say it was them. Now I see all of my friends promoting Burger Fuel and recommending it, and having a look at it for their secret menu. That's now front of mind for me. And as a business, you don't really have to pay for that at all. You just promoted people to tag you in their story and create an automated journey for that. Keywords and phrase triggers. So if you message with a key phrase, which we'll do shortly, then it triggers a certain part of the bot. Conversation starters, that's a big difference. Currently, if you message an Instagram page, it's blank. There's no options there. You can now make it easier for users to choose what they want to talk about. Capturing the user information, same as earlier. There's a live chat capability, same with Messenger. And you can use this to build subscribers on Messenger as well. Now, for anybody who wants to experience the Instagram chatbot, you're welcome again to scan this QR code. It will take you through to our test_IzzyBots Instagram page. Just message the page and you can choose the options that are shown, or you can message saying Izzy Sports and it will take you through our sports product. You can have a look at that. I'm just going to leave that up for a moment while those people want to scan it. Maybe we can talk about it. We'll just use that time to take some more questions, Hannah.
Yep, so we have 2 more questions. We have, is there a range of offers that you should make as a welcome offer, or are there always a freebie or a giveaway?
Just read through that one. It's a range of offers that you should make as a welcome offer. Freebies and giveaways, people love that stuff without a doubt. What we turn to is what do you know gets great engagement from your audience? As you know them better than, I guess, ourselves if we were doing it, but also as a building philosophy, what's going to get people in that you already know has worked for your business? We had one of our clients, they did a $100 KFC giveaway and they got 2,000 comments on their Facebook post. So that's pretty low cost to get a lot of engagement. So that would be one way. Also is about, maybe that's an exclusive consultation if you're more business to business, like we do with the Zeal chatbot, for instance. Send us a message and one of our team members can talk to you about digital audit. So that gets those people in. So it depends on what resonates with your audience to get their engagement and attention.
Great.
Question.
And then we have another question from Pam who wants to know, how much does Facebook and Instagram charge for this service?
Great question. Facebook and Instagram, everything we've shown so far, you cannot build that on Facebook or Instagram in the business manager. In the business settings, you cannot build that. And that's where there's this limitation with Facebook, and they're not sharing how can you build this stuff, build those experiences. I'm happy to share that there's a platform called ManyChat. That's ManyChat. That's a platform, one of the many platforms we use in integrating them together. And that can cost, say, $17 a month at its lowest. And it can also, you can use it for free, but it's very, very limited. With that, you're able to build some of those experiences we've taken you through here. And so it can be very low cost. The challenge is, this is where companies like ourselves come in, where making sure you design everything so it works properly. That's probably the big cost, and ensuring that's right. And so in terms of Facebook, Instagram, you can't do it, but that would be the cost for another platform you can use. Great question, Pam. Very good question. Cool. I'm just going to keep going through, and if anybody has comments or questions about the Instagram, scan the QR code and experiencing it, feel free to send it through. This is a quick little screenshot of what it could look like for your business, where instant replies to story mentions. So we tag test_Izzybots, and then it says, right, this, say Joshua's mentioned you in the story. From there, it immediately replies as a business saying, thanks for mentioning us in your story. We really appreciate the shout out. As a little thank you, click below to see exclusives in our store, or you can easily chat with our support team if you need any help, because maybe they're tagging you in the story because they're not happy. So that's where the implementation is really important, knowing, right, why would they probably do that and tag us, and how can we best serve that? Also, get your friends to tag us or message us with a keyword IzzyBoss so they can get exclusives as well. And then you see these button options people can choose from. So shop the exclusives, speak to the support team, view our FAQs. So this is just rewarding and encouraging and thanking for them promoting your business, or they've publicly raised a concern and now you're immediately addressing it. Go, look, here's our support team if you want to have a chat with us. Keywords and phrases, really simple, just like that last reference. Tell your friends to message us saying IzzyBoss as an example. And from that, they'll get exclusives as well. So that keyword, that triggers a unique area of the chatbot, and that might be a hidden area of the chatbot, like secret menus, secret giveaways, things like that. It's gonna have a lot of fun with that capability. Conversation starters, this is the reference I made earlier. When you message any other Instagram page that does not have an Instagram chatbot connected to it, you do not see these options. It's just blank. And so you just write a message saying, hey, I'm following up on a delivery. I'm just looking to see where it's at. Has it been sent? Or I have a concern. I've won a competition. How do I get the information? Whatever that might be. But then there's no response saying, hey, we'll come back to you as soon as possible. Instagram doesn't have that capability. What you can have here is these conversation starters. We're asking people, look, what do you want to do? Do you want to see our FAQs? Do you want to speak with our support team? Influencer collaborations, maybe you pre-qualify people, see if they're a fit before you go back to them, or shop our store. So you're just making that an easier user experience. Facebook regulations and the Facebook rules. I do want to cover this. So if you do look to go and do it yourself, you know the rules around that. It's really important. We'll cover this and then we'll look at some questions. So firstly is the 24-hour rule. And this applies for it even applies if you don't have a chatbot connected, but Facebook just doesn't apply the rule. Anybody who messages your business's Facebook page, you need to respond to them within 24 hours. After that 24-hour window, if you reply to them then without their consent, then you're going against the rules. So if you look at that from a chatbot perspective, if they're talking to your business, now they want a support inquiry, or maybe they didn't convert, we're doing the automated follow-up. We have 24 hours where we can automatically reply to them. And you can do that as many times as you want within 24 hours. Once that 24-hour window is up, we then move to a sponsored message or a one-time notification. Now, a one-time notification, that's where I say I'm talking to Helen Steins, and Helen Steins asks me, we want to send you some promotions in future, or do you want to receive promotions in future about Black Button-Up shirts, about our next release, or feedback on your ideas for future clothing that we could produce? Would love your input. Click here if you want that. I sign up for that one-time notification. Then, even if that's in 6 months' time, I said I want that information so they can send that to me. So that's one way to continue communicating after the 24 hours. The other is a sponsored message where you pay Facebook. It's usually about $30 per 1,000 people, and you pay Facebook and they'll send the message to them. So pay to play model, basically. Now, that can go to everybody who's not signed up for one-time notification. So if I said I didn't click on one-time notification for Black Button-Up shirts, but then the business pays a sponsored message, $30 for 1,000 people, then they can send that to me anyway. So that's one side of things. There's also some messenger tags. We're going really detailed with that, so I'm just going to leave that for now. This is pretty much the last slide, just talking through as an early adopter, because this technology is still brand new in New Zealand. It's heavily matured and grown since it started in 2016. And when we first started doing it, it's changed a lot. And so this technology is massively matured, but there's a lot of businesses in New Zealand that are not using it. So you can really stand out and you can really connect with your audience better than all of the other businesses, because you're communicating on the platform that your audience is on, and it's going to free up your time at the same time as well. So you can continue growing the business in other areas. So there's some massive benefits of being an early adopter. If you wanted to chat with us about it, you can just contact us at info@izzybots.com and we can have a look at it for your business. Now, what I would recommend is if you contact us, even if you're thinking about doing it for your own business and doing it yourself, let's just have a chat and see if it's a fit for you. A lot of businesses it might not be a fit for. And those that it is a fit for, we can even, I'm happy to share with you some ideas of how you could use it. And from that, if you wanted to use us to build it, we can do that. If you wanted to do it yourself, that's absolutely fine as well. We're just massive believers in getting more people to use this great technology to help grow the business. Whether that's us or yourselves doing it, that's fine. So yeah, feel free to reach out. Happy to have a chat about it. I'd say that's all the key things from me, Hannah.
Yeah, we have another question. Vince
Great.
is a little confused. He's asking me, are the tools that you have shown us free within Facebook and Instagram, or do we need to pay for an integration tool or integration agency?
Yes, good question. It is a confusing space. Within Facebook and Instagram, in the business manager, you cannot build this. It's impossible. Alternatively, there's platforms like ManyChat. Some of the other ones is Chatfuel is another one. Within those, you'll be able to build it for free in a very limited way, very, very limited, or it can start as little as $17 per month, and you'll be able to build a complex chatbot that just uses what's available within there. That really easily integrates with your Facebook page and your Instagram page. So that's what you would need to use to create this. Facebook and Instagram do not have the capability within the Business Manager to do it. Yeah. Hope that answers that question and clears that up, Vince.
Great. If there are any other questions, please leave them either in the chat or the Q&A section. Just one thing that I wanted to bring up as well, because it's a common question that we get, is do you need a big following, or do you need to get a lot of messages or a lot of engagement to really benefit from messenger marketing?
Yeah, and who, I guess, yeah, raises the whole area of who's this best fitting for. The biggest fit is for organizations where they do get a lot of messages, they do get a lot of engagement with their social media, and they do have a lot of promotions, and people want that. So companies such as, I mean, just top of mind, I guess not so much companies, but any organization that gets a lot of engagement with their Facebook page. We had a company where they were like cash converters, and they were getting thousands of comments on some of their giveaways. So great, all right, let's convert that. And from that point, we can then tell them what's available in the store, maybe do some giveaways for them as well, and sharing, and maybe they'll buy more things or sell more things to you. Other organizations like Hallensteins or restaurants. So it's ideal if you do have an audience that is heavily engaging, or you're getting a lot of messages that you need some time freed up. Companies where you are, say, smaller, where you say 100 likes, or maybe you're under 1,000 likes, I'd say it's not most needed at this point, as you could invest that money and time learning into other things. And then once you do get a lot of engagement, that's the time to look it up. Very good question.
Great, cool. I think that's all the questions we had today. I'm going to start sharing my screen again. If you want to end the share on your end. And I'm just going to give a really brief overview of Zealed and what we offer within Zealed if you're not familiar yet. So over the last 20 years, we have worked with over 15,000 Kiwi businesses and helped them achieve digital transformation, which is incredible. And yeah, we've had a lot of experience over those 20 years. So if you need any help at all with anything digital related, whether it's your website or perhaps digital marketing, please get in touch with us and we can help you out. We also have the Get E-commerce movement, short as GEM, which is essentially a service that we offer, which is giving away free websites to anyone who perhaps doesn't have a website yet, or somebody who would like to improve their website and isn't happy with how things are going at the moment. There's a few things that are involved in this offer. So for example, you get obviously the free website setup, as well as free domain and website hosting, free email marketing, and free Google My Business listing. So it's a really great offer for anyone who's just getting started within their business. Here's an example of one of our GEM clients, Robin Parker. So this is a website that we built for her, and she's been seeing a lot of success since then. And then just briefly, our next webinar that is upcoming in 2 weeks is on digital tools to build resilience for your business. Now more than ever, it's incredibly important to build resilience in the digital space for your business with everything that's been happening over the last 2 years. So John will be talking a little bit more about that and show you tools that you can implement within your business to build resilience on a digital level. Cool, that's all from us today. I'm just going to check one last time if we have any more questions. Janice says, thank you, Joshua, for the webinar.
Thank you, no problem. Yeah, it's always exciting to be able to share this technology. So yeah, most welcome. And also that the whole Get E-commerce movement that Zealed does is just fantastic. It's so good.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today, and we will hopefully see you in 2 weeks for our next webinar.
Thanks everybody. Bye.
Bye.